What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to show you a pretty advanced guide at getting a sub 2 Raksha kill. This is with best in slot range gear, and I expect you, if you're going to be following this guide, to be pretty familiar with combat in this game. But this is going to be a way to get an incredibly fast kill. It's going to be fairly high effort, so hopefully you can kind of stick with me here. So as far as the preset that I use for this, I'm not going to explain every little thing in here, but I would try to copy this preset if you can. Some of the important things to note for this preset are going to be, you can see we do have magic dual wields. This is really important to have. You are also going to absolutely need the reckless aura. I probably wouldn't really use any other aura. You can see we have 3 EOFs. These have the Eldritch Crossbow, the Saren Godbow, and the Darkbow in them, which are really important to have all 3 of these for this. We also have a quiver with full arrows, and then the quiver in my inventory has Death Spore arrows in it. And then the rest of the stuff in here, you know, is pretty self-explanatory. The only super important thing in here that you make sure you don't forget is going to be a combat dummy. You absolutely need that, but everything else in here is pretty self-explanatory and honestly is pretty necessary, except for that little square. That's just like a portent that I was testing out. But yeah, this is a pretty self-explanatory preset, and this is what I would try to copy. You could probably consolidate some of the rune pouches and stuff, but in the rune pouches, we basically just have Incite Fear and then Spellbook swap for Disruption Shield and like Vengeance, and that's pretty much everything that's in there. Alright guys, so getting right into it, you can see I have my dual wield magic set on, and basically we start the kill out by using a Tsunami crit buff instead of Incendiary Shot, because we need to use Incendiary Shot throughout the kill, and you obviously need to have the crit buff in order for you know, range to even function. So you definitely need to be using Tsunami to while you're like attacking the dummy thingy. So yeah, what we do here, there is something you definitely need to know for this method, and that is how to switch between your 2H range like this and your dual wield magics very seamlessly. This will help you build, this will help you a lot for building on the dummy when we do that. I'm not gonna start an aura or anything for this kill, but I am gonna show you how to build here and some other basic stuff. So when you get into the Raksha instance, don't move at all and then surge forward 1 tile. And this is where you want to be standing when you drop down the dummy. So we plop a dummy down, it'll go right in front of you here, hopefully. And then you can walk on the opposite side of where you place the dummy. And this tile here is safe from starting the Raksha kill. If you walk 1 square forward, it will actually start the kill. So definitely don't be doing that. But as far as the pre-building phase, you are going to need a Grim for this, and then you're probably going to need to use the critical here. So what we end up doing here is you target the dummy and you use Conc, and then 2 other basics to get 5 Incite Fear stacks. So you want to be making sure you have 5 here. And then to start out here, what we do is we Natural Instinct, and then we Conc, and then we Tsunami and switch to range, and then we Grico, and then we Bolg spec, and then we switch back to dual wield and Conc again. Hopefully you get 100% here. You might need to use a basic. And then you use Death Swiftness here, and then you Piercing Shot, activate Raksha, and then Grico. And then you Eldritch Crossbow here, switch EOFs to the SGB, and then you target cycle Vuln, SGB, and then Rapid Fire. So obviously that was kind of a lot. I'm gonna put this little notepad thing up on the screen here just to show you the rotation in text, because I think that's a little bit easier for most people to follow. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep that up throughout the kill so you can kind of see the entire rotation, and then I'll kind of have some little talk throughs here. All right, so first, we're going to surge in and place our dummy down, and then you can see here we build 5 Incite Fear stacks on the dummy, and then we use Natural Instinct, and then we just Conc, and then Tsunami, and then switch and use Grico, and then we use the Bolg, and then we Conc again, And then we use Death Swiftness and Piercing Shot, activate Raksha, as you can see there, and then Grico and dismantle the dummy. And then we Eldritch, switch EOFs and use the SGB. And then we use Rapid Fire here. And then as soon as Rapid Fire is done, we use 2 Dark Bows. So you can see here Dark Bow and Dark Bow. And now we switch arrows and use Greater Ricochet to get up to an Incendiary Shot. And then we switch back and re-Eldritch and switch back to our full arrows. And then we use Snapshot and then the Bolg, as you can see there. And now we go back into a Rapid Fire and we Rapid Fire. And then same thing here, we use Dark Bow and Dark Bow again. And then we use a Grico to get to 100%, re-Eldritch, and now we use an SGB again, another like Dark Bow or something, and then pretty much just whatever you need to here to phase Raksha. You can use like Dead Shot, you can use, you know, a bunch of different abilities that are very strong, but as you can see there, we did phase, and it was pretty quick. And now we just switch over here, get ready to use the Bolg spec, as you can see. And now we just build up to 100%. Once you get close to 100%, I put on my Death Spores so I can get another Incendiary Shot off. Usually you spore the Death Swiftness because that's just how the cooldowns work out unless you're doing something crazy. But as you can see here, we spore and then we Death Swift. That one was kind of iffy, but it is what it is. And we continue to just like use a bunch of really strong thresholds here, like Rapid Fire here, and then into an SGB spec, so we get that massive crit bonus, and then we can Dark Bow, and then Grico, and then Dark Bow again, and just absolutely melt the final phase here. And as you can see, it just absolutely destroys the boss, and you get a sub 150. So guys, hopefully that was easy enough to follow. This method is definitely going to take anybody learning it quite a bit of practice. I think it took me probably about 2 hours of practice to really start getting it down, and then by the 3rd hour I was able to pretty consistently repeat this rotation. So you know, I think anybody who's familiar with range hopefully could get it down by that 3rd hour. It's definitely quite a bit to do if you are not super familiar with like high-end combat though. Some other things to note are usually this rotation works, but I am not gonna lie to you, I have definitely had kills where I just telly out on like phase 3 because I like failed the pool skip. Generally that happens if you just like don't really get good critical strikes or you just hit terrible or something like that, which does happen occasionally. But from what I found, you generally can get a kill pretty much every single time you do this as long as you execute it correctly. I'm sure some of those kills I tallied out, I definitely made mistakes, so you know. But yeah, like I said, it might not be 100% perfect every single time, especially if you get really bad critical strikes, which I have definitely had happen. But I think most of it comes down to making slight mistakes, and some of the mistakes that you might make are very technical. I think like sometimes one of the mistakes you might make is maybe you had one extra ability in between Tsunami and starting the kill, like the kill in the very beginning where I had to use the one extra ability after Greater Conc before I could use Death Swiftness. That could extend or shorten the duration you have of the crit buff by just a little bit, and it might give you problems with like the Grico or something. So hopefully that kind of explains, you know, where some problems are and like kind of how it might not work every time. But yeah, like I said, most of the time it does definitely work if you execute it correctly. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully this helps some people kind of understand a little bit better how to use range. I know this guide, if you call it that, was pretty in-depth when it comes to like rotational mechanics, but I think it's more so just to show you kind of how to use range, I guess, a little bit. Let me know if you guys like in-depth guides like this for like high-level bossing that isn't just simply AFKing and like low efforts and stuff. But yeah, if you guys like this video and made it this far, definitely drop a like on it. And as always, guys, I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.